Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome once again to another Jenny Live. Hope you're having an amazing evening. Come and join us. Join us, join us. We're live at MiamiTV.com or wherever you're watching us. You can catch us live. So, Tulum, we had a beautiful day today, very sunny, but Tulum is on chaos. You know, people are chaotic right now. Everybody's going crazy. And what do you think the first thing that is running out in the supermarkets is? Again. Yep, you're right. Toilet paper. I don't get it, honestly. I mean, is it because people think that, you know, you're going to be home for a while, so you're going to run out of toilet paper? Has nobody found out something called bidet? I mean, seriously, it's a lot more hygienic and it just requires water. So, you know, if you're in the path of a hurricane, I do recommend you get one of those. They're like little hoses if you don't have the actual bidet. And yeah, you'll be good, you guys. So don't binge shop and leave everybody else without things. ¿Cómo están, amigos? Buenas noches. Digoberto, bienvenidos. Jerry, Marcos, hello, guys. Do the five. I'm guessing that's some kind of like face that I cannot see. Hi, Omar, welcome. All right, my loves. So if you have something you would like me to discuss, please let me know. If not, we're going to go with our members' topics. And one of them says the following. Where did it go? I'm doing like 1,000 things at a time here. Jenny, does loyalty to one another play a critical role in their relationship? Must couples privilege each other over everybody else? Is a couple the primary relationship, and does it come before all others, including parents and children's? Ooh, okay. Right, this is gonna be hi Aniket from India, welcome. Joe TV, hola. Joel, Danny, welcome, guys. Well, that's kind of tricky, right? Because if they're your kids, like the kids of one relationship, then I'm always gonna say put the couple first, because of course you came before the kids. So make sure that make sure that you're putting yourself as a priority, so that the environment around the kids is positive and everything is going well. A lot of people tend to forget, you know, about themselves and just focus on the kids only. And I don't think that's right. I think that you still need to remember who you were before you had kids. You need to remember to have fun. You need to remember to have that time off. So make sure you get a nanny every now and then, like we were saying yesterday. Definitely do date night. I mean, just because you had kids doesn't mean that you all of a sudden have to change 1,000%. Of course, you're going to change, but you don't have to leave the things that you love behind, okay? So just all you have to do is learn how to manage your times correctly, basically, okay? And yeah, distribute your monetary earnings correctly as well, so you can save for some help in the weekends, so you can go out with your husband or your wife. Because at the end of the day, remember that the kids also leave home. And I think that's probably the hardest part for parents, is having that crisis of, oh my God, I've been living all these years for my kids and now they're gone to do their own life. So yes, these times will come. I remember when I left my house and I found my mom crying in the bedroom. Oh man, that broke my heart. But it's easy for us to leave the nest, and the parents are always left suffering. So remember that your relationship does come first, no matter what. The kids will continue on and have their own life later on. So yes, keep that in mind. So does loyalty to one another play a critical role in a relationship? I believe so. I think that if you can get to that part of a relationship where you can literally just, let's say, bow down all of your trust, right, towards that person, and make it like your partner in crime over everything, then I think that's beautiful. I think that's perfect, and you probably found your soulmate. So make sure that you maintain that activity going on so it doesn't become boring and it doesn't become, something where the other person is going to go off and try to find something to replace whatever's not happening at home. Okay, this actually also goes with a topic that I was going to read. This is from El País, and it says, without even seeing each other or touching each other, people are actually, hi Fab, welcome. I just want to say hello, and you bring me clarity. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Without even touching or without even seeing a person, this is how apparently unloyalty and infidelity has increased in the world today. Would you take, if you found your partner online flirting with somebody else, would you take that as an infidelity? Hi Daniel, I sell them in my department store. What are you selling? I'm thinking of you for the week of wind that you're gonna have. Yes, we are in the path of, is it Beryl? That's not a name that I love. For some reason, it's like Beryl, just nope. I hope it doesn't bring us destruction. But we got to think positive, right? And remember, energy can do wonders. So if we all think that it's just going to go away, then maybe we can, make it right. So I've seen the destruction that it's done in the places where it's hit. Apparently, the next place to hit is Jamaica. After Jamaica, it will be coming towards Tulum. So hopefully, it'll come down to a tropical storm. We had a tropical storm, I believe, like 2-3 years ago, and it was a little devastating still because remember there's a lot of jungle here, so yeah, trees do fall all over the place. Hello from Coventry, England. Love and kisses. Love and kisses, Joe. Hi. All right, loves. So would you take a cyber connection as an infidelity? Interesting. It says cyberspace has not only opened new possibilities for infidelity, but it's also augmented the capacity of espionage and control of your partner. How many of you play with your partner's algorithm? Like, have you ever, this is, my family member gave me this idea. It's like, oh, does your husband use TikTok? I'm like, yeah, like, okay, just get his TikTok and start looking at things that have to do with like exercise or health. And they'll just be like randomly, oh, wow, yeah. So I'm like, whatever you want your partner to be inclined towards, just mess with their algorithm and you're good. So then it's the computer, it's not you, right? So you're not doing it. So see, I gave you a bad example now that you can do. All right, guys. Let's see. So you can be unloyal without actually being unloyal, even because you're not really making fault. So the term infidelity is actually seen in the digital world as something that's moved hundreds of thousands of new modalities, classes, subclasses. In fact, infidelity, we can say that it's all over the place, and we can't really explain what it is. If our grandparents and parents had very clear what it meant to be unloyal to their couple, it means that today, defining infidelity is definitely something complicated and imprecise. It's not something that is going to be consensual socially, and it might actually just go according to whatever you think is being unloyal or loyal. So let's see. A study in infidelity in Mexico in 2020 did 3 categories: physical, digital, and emotionally. So I guess these are the 3 infidelities that this study has come about. So first, what they did was an investigation of the acts of infidelity digitally, and those are the ones that apparently hurt Mexicans, because this is a Mexican study that they did here, Mexicans the most. Women and men. It's either receive or send pictures that are explicit. 83% were offended by that and said that that is an infidelity. Use an application to find a couple. 82% found that being infidelity. Yeah, I mean, why would you be looking for a couple if you're already in a relationship? And online flirting, 78% people voted that that was a way of infidelity. Receiving or sending publications in That's not clear. 39% reciben mensajes de publicaciones. Oh, receiving messages in your posts, that is 39% infidelity. That's stupid. Come on. I mean, you're public, so of course everybody's going to have something to say about you. And silencing notifications or putting your phone on airplane mode, 24% of people said, that might be a little bit iffy. The use of porn, 11% of people think that the use of porn is infidelity when it comes to, well, virtual, of course. And giving like to other posts, 4% of people, wow, that 4% I would not want to have anything to do with. I mean, if you can't have your partner give like to somebody and not be like, you know, like, I'm losing him, then yeah, there's definitely something wrong with you. I'm sorry. I think that when you really, really trust somebody and you know that that's the right person, I mean, even if the person is going out and checking somebody out, I don't think you should be offended. I mean, there's beautiful people out there. Come on, let's be real. Men and women. And just because you're looking doesn't mean that you're going to do something. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, your partner is going home with you, I hope. Okay, so that's all that matters. And if anything else offends you, then life is not, just remember, life is not to be lived in a negative and judgmental and, you know, jealousy kind of way. That's not going to leave you anything positive. On the contrary, just as long as everything is working fine and your relationship is beautiful, then these things, it's virtual. But I do get, obviously, why would you download, I mean, let's review these. Would you be offended if your partner downloaded a dating app? I think that's not right. I don't think you should be downloading dating apps. It's like, oh, I'm on Tinder. It's like, why would you have Tinder? It's like, oh, you know, just to look and see what it's like. I don't even know what those apps look like. Somebody actually wrote to me once and said, Jen, you're on Tinder. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's definitely not me. So apparently somebody opened a Tinder account with my pictures. Guys, if I can start to tell you the amount of social media accounts that are out there with my pictures and name, yeah, it's just, I don't have enough time to actually go through those and take them down. So just be smart. Some people have actually even given money. So yeah, no, be careful, guys. Nice skin. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Where are you at? Let's see what you guys say up there, if there's anything interesting. Guys, I'm going to try to skip the hello and kisses because then the show just kind of goes by us, okay? Hi, George. Welcome, guys. So flirting. If you're flirting with somebody online or you're sending explicit pictures, yes, if you're sending explicit pictures, then there's a definite problem as well. I would like to think that this is some kind of infidelity because remember, it also has to do with, Danny, I think you should stop asking that. I think this has to do with, you know, energy in a way, because when you see somebody else's picture, your mind is going to be stuck in that person for hours actually afterwards. So maybe you were sending a picture without pun intended, right? But at the end of the day, it's going to cause a reciprocating energy where the person's going to be excited by looking at you and you're going to get excited by looking at them. So you're actually being kind of unloyal when it comes to that energy that you're generating. So I think that infidelity starts with intention and thought, and that creates that emotion. If you're generating negative energy or if you're generating arousal energy towards another person, then yeah, unfortunately, you're being a little unloyal, even though you haven't done anything physical. It's not as bad, okay? But it's still, you're still, you know, affecting your relationship, because remember that at the end of the day, you are going to be, that energy that you generate together is something that affects your relationship overall. So you're making your relationship be like stuck and stalled. And why should your partner have to deal with that? Porn. I don't think porn is a way of infidelity, but I also don't think people should be looking at porn. If you have a beautiful, you know, wife and an awesome husband, then why do you have to take time to look at porn? I think that you need to find what are you missing in your everyday life, right? That needs to be cleared out, and maybe you need to make some changes. But at the end of the day, that time that you're spending watching porn, same thing like I just mentioned before, you are more than likely going to be generating negativity. So then when you're with your partner, unfortunately, you're going to pass on that negativity to them and to your relationship. So that's not fair. And I see that there's women that don't care. I remember my husband telling me once that he went to this guy's house. He was like a famous politician or something. I don't know. Not that that matters, obviously, but and that he didn't show up in the whole meeting. Like there was apparently some kind of like social meeting gathering in his house, and the guy didn't even come out of the room. And when Enrique asked his wife, what is he doing? Is he going to come out? She said, "Oh no, he's stuck. He'll be in there for hours just watching pornography." I'm like, why would somebody even be in a relationship? If they're going to have that kind of addiction. I mean, I think that's total disrespectful to the person that you're with, because obviously you're not doing anything with your wife because you're so many hours stuck watching other people having sex. So I don't think that should be allowed in a way. I mean, not that you should have a say over what somebody does or not, but I think that you should definitely seek help and try to help your partner if they're in an addiction of porn. Long story short, that relationship ended up splitting after, I think it was like over 12 years of marriage, and he ended up going broke, and he was somebody that had a lot of money, and he ended up being in debt because of pornography. So these kind of things affect you in so many ways, not only in a physical level with your relationship, but also your pockets are going to be hurting. And the person, like I said, the person that's next to you should not have to deal with these things. But at the same time, relationships come in pairs, okay? So if one person is failing, it's because the other one maybe is not paying enough attention as well. So you need to find out what went wrong, what you need to fix. And if you were happy once, you could definitely be happy again. No worries. Gracias, Paulo. Hola. All right, guys. Let's continue on. So, flirting. What else we got? It says, our grandmas were breathing very relaxed when their husbands would just stay at home. Now, you can't really be relaxed as our grandmas, because just the fact that your husband has a phone on him, or your boyfriend has a phone, they're going to be constantly checking their phones of notifications or messages, and that's going to draw some suspicion from the couple. So even before, if there had to be some kind of risk to be in unloyal back in the day, today it can be done anonymously without anybody finding out, and just from something that's on your hand. You don't even have to go anywhere. That is true. So I guess you could say that in today's world, it's not only more difficult to raise kids. I always say I put my hats out, to those that are parents in today's age, but also relationships. I think relationships are put to more tests because you are constantly being shown, things that are going to be tempting. So yeah, absolutely. It says, back in the day, what used to be unloyal used to be just the consuming in the act. If there wasn't a physical action, then it was not unloyal. So today, just by being on Tinder, even though you're not chatting with anybody, is enough for people to actually get offended and make a fuss out of it. Infidelity isn't something that you can define, because each couple has their laws. You want to be unloyal, then it's just going to be not abiding by those rules that you've set up with your partner. So if that, that makes sense. So if since you start being together, you make it clear that it's like, listen, I don't care if you look at somebody. I don't care if you're, liking somebody's post online. It's fine as long as nothing changes when you're around the person. But how many of you actually are in relationships and don't even have a talk when you're having dinner? Or you're always on the phone. You barely even talk to each other. It's always this. And you pay more attention to the people on your phone that you probably don't even know, by the way, than to the person that's next to you. I feel like technology, in a way, in that case, is kind of backfiring, because, we should be more connected than ever. We shouldn't be having to go to therapy to connect back, So in my opinion, I definitely think that, keep your time for yourself and the time for your partner, because that is, at the end of the day, it's you guys against the world. That's the most important thing. Okay, let's go back to this one. So, do you think couples privilege each other over everybody else? Yes. There's couples that put their friends first, and I think that's ridiculous. But I also think that there's people. Hola, Beto, gracias. I always think that there's people that probably make their partners feel less sure about them. So they'll go out, and when they go out with their friends or something, the wife or the husband will probably feel a little bit left out. So I think that the best thing would be if you guys have friends that you've had all your life and you can do like a get together all together once a month, or even have like a boys' night out or a girls' night out. I think those are the healthiest relationships because you're allowing each other to have your space, and we need our space. You know, you are an individual being. Even though let's say you are married to somebody or you're in a relationship to somebody, it doesn't take away that you have, things that you like that maybe the other person doesn't, or there's things that you used to do that you stopped doing. So just ask yourself why. Why did you stop doing? And if the person next to you is stopping you from doing the things that make you happy, then shame on them. That should not happen. In fact, the reason why you're together is to support each other, right? Not to bring each other down and be like, no, 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 you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, who's going to want to be next to somebody like that? That's bossy and demanding all the time. No, no, no. The years go by and you're still beautiful. Thank you. Hello, Daryl. Welcome, guys. What's up, guys? So at the end of the day, even people that you think might be more important than your relationship, at the end of the day, the only person that's going to take care of you is the partner that you chose. So be careful. Is a couple primary, and does it come before parents or children's? Well, it also depends, right? I mean, if your couple is not a nice person and you're in a toxic relationship, then you should put your family first. But if it's the opposite way around, a lot of times it's the family that's toxic and your relationship it's beautiful, then in that case, you should definitely put your relationship first. Yeah, the other one would be the other way around, right? Yeah. Gorgeous. Welcome, guys. Let's go up and read the comment, that one. You look beautiful, Jenny. I stopped watching porn because I was having trouble getting it up. My girlfriend would have to buy unnecessary things to help, like lingerie. Is lingerie considered a cheat code? What do you mean a cheat code? Like, sorry, I think you're going to have to rephrase the question. I do not understand it. I'm sorry. But I think that's great that at least you stopped watching it. It's not going to leave you anything positive. Now, if you're watching adult videos with your partner, okay, then that's okay. That's not a big deal. But the problem is if it's something that you're doing like, compulsively all the time and you're not stopping and you get to the point where you're making a priority those videos, then your actual partner, and then you start fantasizing about how to repeat what's on the video with your partner. And, you can't ever compare what you're supposed to do and feel like with your partner than what you're seeing in a video that everything is acted and aggressive. Okay. So, I know that in today's age, teenagers learn how to have sex through porn, and it's been happening for decades. But just keep in mind that it's obviously not going to leave, it's not realistic. Women do not like to be treated like that unless you actually do end up with somebody that has a lot of a shield and has lost sensitivity. Then in that case, like a porn star, right? In that case, they're going to need a lot of action to feel something. But since the sensation that you feel when you love someone, that nobody can take away, and it's the strongest sensation anybody can give you when it comes to pleasure, okay? It's the feeling of emotion towards the other person. So you could be moving like a robot, okay? That if there's no connection, you're not gonna know what it's like to have a really strong connection and orgasm, okay? So I feel like people just tend to prioritize the physical part, and they don't prioritize the connection, the spiritual part, the emotional part. So they lose, they totally lose out on what they could be feeling, which, like I always explain in Tantra, it could be astral projections. You can be connected to the person that you love, and you're going to be having visions. You're going to be having sensations of out-of-worldly sensations. You can even have a sensation of being out of your body. But this isn't generated by a physical act. This is generated by a strong feeling of uncontrollable desire for the person and love that is going to cause you to, have that connection. So always keep that in mind, in the sense of, where to go with that. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Muy bien, amigos, continuamos. So the sensation of today is that there is no limits in things, but this doesn't imply that necessarily we are not free sexually today. Sexual liberty comes with education and knowledge. And what we see is that people are actually going into new modos, new ways of having relationships. That's true. Could you imagine talking about an open relationship, or like swinging, for example, to your grandparents? You're like, what's that? Or do people get into swings and have sex on swings? Like, I can just imagine. So I think that's definitely awesome. But yeah, people's mentality has definitely opened up a lot when it comes to relationships. And let's be truthful and honest, and not to be old, but the classic relationship type that grandma and grandpa used to have was the right one. And I think back in the day, well, the world wasn't as messed up as it is today. So the whole open relationship, motto, it basically just means that you haven't found the right person. It's really that simple, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. If this is something that you're doing, same thing with swinging. If this is something that you need, you're probably also not with the right person, or maybe there's something physical that you need to, like when we explain about the shield, when the person gets used to certain activities and actions when they're younger, and that's what they need later on to feel normal. So, but that's for another topic if you haven't heard about it. Sexuality is, hello, the one, how are you? Sexuality is a venerable situation. It is with a partner. It could be beneficial or positive. If it's with a stranger, while knowing it is not acceptable, it's a mix of guilt, weakness, and negativity, of course. Well, the thing is that most people don't think that having sex with strangers, like you said, normally people that do have sex with strangers don't necessarily think that they're going to feel guilty, weakness, or generate negativity. That's why they're doing it. Most people that do that, it's just because they have no awareness whatsoever in what it is that they're sharing and generating. So they say, oh, sex is just sex. If there's no emotions involved, that it's not going to bite me in the butt afterwards. But the thing is that it's definitely going to bite you in the butt afterwards, because that's what negativity does. So you must be super, super careful in who it is that you allow into your life and allow into your body overall, okay? All right, guys. The digital jungle and its trampas. How do you say trampas? A catch, I guess you could say, the digital jungle and the traps for couples that are actually loyal. At the beginning, there's going to have a secondary effect of infidelity, the cause of pain, in which today can cause couples to actually get separated. But that is what receives trust in the relationship. When you lose trust, man, I always say trust is something that you can fix things, but you're always going to have that little bit of doubt when the person actually lied to you, or when the person did something that they weren't supposed to, not in a loyalty way, infidelity ways, but in anything. I think it's hard to get back to that one, right? Get back to being like nothing happened, because you're always going to have it in the back of your head and throw it out when your best convenience. Like, remember when you did this? So that's not good. In the world that was analog, when they had produced something like infidelity, the number of times of a person being loyal was something that you could just keep track on, like maybe once. But it can definitely mark a difference between something that didn't matter or didn't mean anything, or something that was really meaningful, something that was sexual, something that was intimate, or maybe something that had to do with love or an emotional implication. What about people that don't mind that their partners have sex if there's not an emotional attachment? It's like, no, if there's not an emotional attachment, that is totally fine. It's not unloyal. And then you have the other kind of people that think if you so much as give a like to another woman, you're being unloyal. So it's crazy how we have like such different mentalities, and people have such different expectations of others. Buenas noite, ¿cómo estamos? Buenas noite. What about cyber sex or sexting? Finding people with erotic content. A lot of people consider this an infidelity, and even that the person sees pornography is also seen as infidelity. Let's see. Okay, that got a little longer. It's too long. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. So, yeah, I think that absolutely. I think that it's all a matter of setting rules, boundaries, and if you feel like your partner should not be doing something because it makes you unhappy, then absolutely go ahead and make a stand and say, listen, I think that when you flirt with Susan 101 online, you're being, it's not making me any happier. And other people, I think, are relieved by the fact that their partners find a company online because maybe they've grown distant, right? Like we were talking about yesterday. I mean, relationships that have grown distant and haven't had sex in a long time. Or maybe if there's a wife or a husband that is having those kind of problems that we were talking about yesterday, like erectile dysfunction or, pain and penetration, then in that case, it's a little bit even more difficult because you're going to want something to fill that void. So the moment that the person that feels lonely is feeling the void, what are they going to do? Go directly towards their phones and see how to fill the void. And usually it's with porn or finding somebody else to flirt with online. So in a way, some people might be okay with this, but in another way, you have to be realistic in why you're staying in a relationship that is obviously not going anywhere, not leaving you anything positive. All right, my loves, it's 4th of July on Thursday. Oh, it is? Awesome. Well, I'm not in the States, so I'll be here in Tulum waiting for the hurricane that it's going to be a tropical storm. All right, my loves, we will see you next time. Have an amazing night. Isn't trust supposed to be earned and not given? No. I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, I think trust is something that the moment that you marry someone, you have to absolutely trust them. Why would you have to earn that person's trust? I mean, if you love them, you trust them. So I think that it's given. I think that you allow immediately people to trust you and vice versa. Now, if you lose it, then you're going to have to earn it again. But it could be. What do I know? All right, loves. We'll continue now for members only with a positive energy seminar in MiamiTV.com. Have an amazing evening. Stay positive. Be good. Smile. And please don't generate negativity. And start, blowing away the hurricane from us so we don't get it. I might have to... I might just stream live Hurricane Barrel hitting Tulum and put it on YouTube, guys, so you can see what's happening. See you tomorrow. Kisses. Good night.